spent. I'm spent.
You just need someone.
Coach Simpson said the other day that Rich is sort of at the heart of what you guys do, but not at the heart of what you guys do as a defense. I was wondering, do you see that, and just how did he develop into that spot for you?
Yeah, as much as anybody, I think he is, and playing the centerpiece position there at the Mike linebacker spot a lot of the times. Although I think he can play any of our linebacker spots equally well. Knows the defense well, knows what our expectations are. I think on the field, off the field, I think he's kind of a good model citizen. So yeah, in that respect, I think Rich Miller certainly would be kind of at the center of what we're trying to do.
Brian, when you look generally at what you're trying to do in the secondary, especially at safety, maybe more specifically at safety, what do you ask of your boundary guy, your field guy? How do you want to divide up roles? Because you mentioned Kenny's obviously entrenched here, but you've got guys who've been pushing him, and he's talked about taking reps elsewhere. How do you try to divide what guys' responsibilities are going to be so that they are given the opportunity?
Well, we try to have everybody be versatile, that they're not just locked into one spot. I can only play the boundary, or I can only play the field. So we're trying to develop within practice. Guys take reps at both positions back there. But our field safety that will play field safety for us is probably involved in a little bit more some man-to-man coverage kind of thing. So there's certain guys that probably have a little bit more wherewithal in that area, and then there's other guys that are maybe better kind of roaming middle of the field and a boundary, that would be our boundary person, and also getting involved in more involved in some of the run game. So that just suits some players better than others, but quite honestly, I think any player that we have back there could go to either spot and function for sure.
So when you talk about the versatility, then is there a preference between having guys who are physical guys, hard hitters types, like kind of the old school, like strong safety from years past, or has you guys kind of moved away from
Well, yeah, you obviously need guys to be that way. You'd like everybody to be that way. That's not always everybody's. The forte of every safety's game is not just I'm a headhunter back there.
Yeah.
I think that's gone away. I just probably believe more so in today's game. It's a little bit more wide open with space and speed and formation. So you really have to be able to run and cover no matter where you are. So and we're looking for those guys that can, quite honestly, that are aggressive, but yet can also run and cover. Those are the guys that we're looking for, I guess. Yeah.
A lot more guys there on defense now, just for depth purposes. How have you seen the overall competition among basically every spot on defense kind of elevate the level of play of whether it be incumbent guys, newcomers, just overall?
I think it's been great. We spend a lot of time mapping out our practices, who's going to get reps during this time and in what order, and where maybe like last year it was, well, this is it, so I guess they're going to get them all. Now there is a lot of competition, so I think that's been helpful. I think that's sharpened up everybody's game. We haven't really necessarily tried to recruit past or over the guys that were here last year. We've just tried to add more competition to the room and improve ourselves in that way. And I do feel like we've done that at every position. I feel like we're at least at this point, I feel like we're better at every position because of that.
And when we talked to Coach Simpson, he named Tywan Berryhill as the guy that kind of improved the most. What have you seen from him in camp, and what has he brought?
Yeah, I would agree. Just locked in. We talk about, hey, you got to make every rep that you get count, because you're not getting an unlimited number of reps. So make the ones that you get, make them good. I think he's done that. Again, I think he's seen that. There are other guys now. There are other options. So I better step up my game, and he's done it on the field, but I think he's done it in the meeting room. I certainly think he's done it off the field. It's been a wonderful transformation just to watch a young man mature in really every way and improve himself around here in every way.
Brian, when you talk about not recruiting over guys, Lance talked about it a few minutes ago too. I wonder how much of that is a culture thing. Have you been places where that's an issue and guys do feel like that's happening and then that's a problem for a roster or?
Well, yeah, I think any one of us in this room would probably feel that way if I was an incumbent and then there's a new guy brought in from somewhere, right? That, yeah, I think all of us would feel a certain amount of, it's a bit of a threat,
Right.
But so we've really tried to help guys see it differently. And we have not had like those kind of issues where we don't have guys that were here that are bitter or resentful or going against the flow of things because of that. I think we all know that we need to improve our team and we need to improve it in every way, and one of those ways is just the quality of players at every position. So I think everybody's embraced that from my perspective, and I'm really happy about that.
Brian, you would know this better than anybody else, but there's an opportunity here for Rich Miller, Kalen Durbin, Marvin Grant, Lorenzo McCaskill, and somebody else I'm forgetting. A fifth guy from Detroit, I can't remember off the top of my head, who all played youth football together.
Yeah,
They're all playing in 7 and 8-year-old leagues.
Cornell Wheeler maybe.
Cornell, yeah. And now they come here and can play together on this team on the field at the same time. What does that say about, maybe it's the league itself or their development, their want to, but the special aspect of that, those 5 guys growing together and being here?
Well, it makes me thankful that they knew each other growing up, because I don't know that we'd have got all those guys if it didn't happen that way. I think they were really instrumental in the attraction, in the recruiting process, and in the contacts and the relationships that they had. So what I really like is the fact that if I was here and I had a friend somewhere else that was looking for somewhere to go and I thought this place was no good, if I was a friend, I'd tell them, don't come here, it stinks, right? They're saying exactly the opposite. Hey, there's great opportunity here. We're doing it the right way. I love it. We're going to get better. You can help us. And so I think all that's really been presented the right way. But again, it makes me feel good about what we're doing with the players in our program, that they would want to go get guys and not tell guys to stay away, because I know that happens other places. So.
Coach, the offense has an outstanding running back room. How's that help the defense with Big Full that has a lot of great running backs?
Yeah, we were just talking about, we're watching practice film before I walked in here, and Kai Thomas takes a handoff and boom, 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 and leaves one of our guys just grasping at straws. I said, that's good, right? And I think that helps make us better. So to have to go against those guys every day is, I think that little by little that all stacks up and makes a difference in the long run. So again, we're glad about that too, because quite honestly, I want our offense to be awesome. So more power to them. The harder it is in practice, the better I feel, because I know that's going to translate to success on Saturdays as well.
Hey Brian, can you talk about the defensive line? What have you seen from the D tackles and the D ends?
Yeah, more of the same in some respects. A lot of great depth, great competition. I think we can probably go, 6 deep at those positions in terms of guys that we feel that we can put in the game at both the interior spot and the end spot. Guys we can put in there without really feeling like we're going to have a lot of drop off of any kind. They're interchangeable parts. Our defensive tackles, we kind of rotate 3 groups in practice, 1s, 2s, and 3s, and those guys they rotate from anywhere from the 1s to the 3s, depending on the day and the period of practice. So again, I feel great that we can roll guys through there, but I know that we've also got some pretty good top end talent as well that are going to make sure make sure they play how as much as they need to play. But the fact that we can roll guys through there and feel good about who's in there and continue to execute and perform and the way we want to is it feels good, at least right now.
You know, I've got a question just about you turning the clock back a year ago. You're trying to get a new system in, you don't know who the guys are, and what you've been able to do for a year. Just how do you feel compared to this time last year?
Yeah, a lot better for sure. You know, I could compare it to, you know, we do have a couple new guys this year, right? That really showed up over the summer, and so we had a team full of those guys last year, right? So those new guys that are here that just showed up, they know it, but you know, there's things that sometimes move too fast for them as well, and they're still growing into it. Well, that's maybe one piece or two pieces as opposed to, you know, 11 pieces last year where it's new to everybody, and you know, so it's been a lot better. I feel like we know our players better, they know us better. They are much more bought in and willing and receptive to everything that we're trying to do on defense and within the program. That's been helpful, and like I said, they're bought in. So and I just feel defensively we've already progressed beyond where we ever were last year in 12 fall camp practices in terms of what we're able to install and what we feel like we can execute during the game. We're already past that point. So again, those are all encouraging signs. Again, we haven't played anybody, we haven't beat anybody, we haven't stopped anybody, we haven't done anything yet this year. But I can tell you going into it, I feel a lot better about things for sure.
Anything else? All right,